Hi there, friends. I'm Vasco. I'm part of the team behind the first global Scrum Master Summit. If you're a Scrum Master, the Scrum Master Summit is a place to learn, to share, and to meet new friends. We will have lots of live sessions where you can meet and network with other Scrum Masters from all over the globe. So make sure you check it at bit.ly/SM Summit and the numeral 21. That's bit.ly/SMSUMMIT21. We have 7 amazing keynotes or more, as we are still organizing the conference as I record this, and 8 tracks that feature people like you and thought leaders sharing their insights and knowledge to help you become an awesome Scrum Master. So once again, check it out at bit.ly/SM Summit 21. That's all lowercase, all one word, SM Summit and the numeral 21. I'll see you on the virtual conference floor. All right, now on to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our TGIF and Product Owner episode this week with Wouter Gijssen. Hi, Wouter. Welcome back.
Hello, glad to be back.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you. Let's talk about what might have been, Wouter, possibly the worst anti-pattern you've seen in the product owner role.
Well, the worst I've seen is a product owner which is not available. And that can be a product owner who is, for example, in the bank, I had a product owner who was sitting 5 floors up to the team. So it was hard to reach them. Okay, he was on the daily stand-ups, but during the day, he was sitting in another location. And also, content-wise, he was not always available. So, and that is a very hard for a team to work with somebody as a PO who is not always there. And that's you see it from the team because they had a question, they had to type a mail to the PO or to write to them on Skype or Slack or another way, and you feel that there's always like a distance between the PO and the team. So I rather have to have a PO who's sitting close to the team and who is also available to make decisions. Because if you have a PO who always has to go, I cannot make that decision, so okay, I'll go to talk to somebody else and I'll come back to you, and that slows down the flow, slows down the process. So I really would like ideally have a PO who is powerful, who is fully committed, knows the content, and who is not afraid to talk to stakeholders to say no, there's no room to do it, we cannot deliver it. And that's something that's very important and where the team is really benefiting from.
So one of the things you said right at the start of this introduction to the anti-pattern kind of struck me. And that was, I mean, what you said, it was very illustrative, right? So the product owner was sitting 5 floors above the floor where the team worked. Now, there's been a lot of research about, how easy it is to communicate. And one of the things that, based on distance, and one of the things that they have found is that if somebody's in a different room, they might as well be in a different building. If they are in a different floor, they might as well be in a different city, right? And when you think about this, like small physical distances actually create very large emotional distances. If you never see the PO except maybe for 15 minutes in the daily stand-up, and then when you have questions, PO is gone, then you're not going to feel close to the PO. You're also less likely to feel committed to help the PO succeed because the team and the PO need to work together for both to succeed.
That's correct. And now, of course, in Corona times, everyone is working from home, but then everyone is sitting from home. While at that bank, the team was sitting together. They have small questions, ad hoc questions, but if you always have to book or schedule a meeting or gather all your questions together to then have one successful meeting to raise all the questions to the PO, it doesn't work. And you never have that spontaneous um, conversation between the team, between the PO. Also, let alone talk about soccer, for example, or talk about the weather. Those are really small things that really help connect the team with the PO and create a bond. Because my two best POs were women who were like the kind of mother for the team. And that was really nice to see because they were really involved. They were emotional available, they were physical available, and yeah, they were really keeping the whole team together, motivating it, and that was really nice to see.
And actually, let's turn our attention to what might have been exactly that, like the best product owner you've ever worked with. You talked already about something that is very important about the product owner and the team to being emotionally close to each other, right? So the PO being emotionally available, trying to help the team succeed as well. What other characteristics do you identify with a great product owner, Wouter?
Somebody who knows the content, who knows the insides out of a system, who also has like kind of a vision where his or her product wants to go, what's the roadmap. Somebody who can um, negotiate with stakeholders about priorities, about scope or scope changes, about the future. So somebody who really knows her the inside out of her domain, of her product or service. Also somebody who can really make tough decisions, who can say, okay, this is something that we are going to build no matter what, or something we cannot deliver, so too bad, but who can really take up the responsibility to also protect her team from the stakeholders. I know it's one of the roles of the Scrum Master to protect the team, but it's also something from the PO to support her team, also to challenge the team to push a bit more stories into the sprint planning, but also provide the safety and protect the team towards the external stakeholders or to other teams who want to interact into the Scrum way of working.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Let's not forget that the product owner, just like the Scrum Master, they are there to help the team ship software. Very often we think that, the product owner is doing something and the team is doing something else, but that's just because of an unfortunate need to have a distinction in roles. However, if the PO isn't helping the team, and the team is not succeeding, the PO doesn't succeed either. We ship, as I usually say, we ship software, we don't ship PowerPoint presentations. So no matter how good the PO is at PowerPoint, we still need to ship the software, and the team is the entity that does it in the system. So a very good point that the PO also needs to be part of that coalition that protects the team.
Yep. And what is also very important is to have an organization where the role of the PO and the Scrum Master is really clear. Because often you have the PO who is also a product manager, or a PO who is a product owner for 2, 3, 4 teams, which also reduces the availability. So these are also things that, from an organization standpoint, make it more complex for the PO and the team to really pick up their role and their responsibilities.
Absolutely. Very well said. Wouter, thank you very much for sharing all of these stories with us. It's been a pleasure, but we're getting close to the end, unfortunately. So share with us, where can we find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
Well, you can find more on my website, which is beyondbusinessagility.com, where I provide agile consultancy, Scrum Master, and agile coaching. And beside that, I also provide lots of safe training. I'm a safe trainer. So there you can find out more information about the stuff I'm doing.
Absolutely. We'll put the link on the show notes so that people can easily connect with Wouter and ask questions, engage. Wouter, it's been a pleasure. So thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you for having me. It was a real pleasure.
One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast hosts. as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. Join us at scrummastertoolbox.com/podcast and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more week full of Scrum Master tips and tricks. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.